Hello, hello, friends. I'm here. This is Grace here at the Comfy Nest with Grace. Thank you for coming on over and visiting my channel. I appreciate you so much. Today we're going to work on this book that we started last week, which has the fabric cover. This is, remember I said, we're doing it the Donna way. Twisted Paper Studio. She does her covers this way all the time, and this was my first attempt at it. I really love the way it looks. I do wish that I had put something like some batting in it or something. I kind of like that feel when you have some batting in your cover, but it's still very lovely. And we're just gonna keep on with this book. So when you get here, let me know that you're here. Please say hello. I'm just gonna check and see if anybody's here just yet. All right, let me just put this little ticker message down below so that you guys remember to comment and let me know that you're here. I am live only on YouTube. So looking for my YouTube folks to connect with all of you. If you're here and watching, you may be one of like 45% of the folks who are watching my videos are not yet subscribed to the channel. So please make sure that you go back and subscribe and make sure you get your notifications for when I'm live. I would appreciate that so much. Okay, let's get into it. Before we get into this is what I had left from this project. I got some Happy Mail from Cheryl at Mama Please. Guys, she came into this stash recently. She was able to get her hands on a wedding gown. Oh my gosh. A wedding gown that had been so, like cut up and it's being repurposed. And she sent me, oh my word. She sent me, oh, wow, you guys. Look at this. That is stunning. Cheryl, oh my word. I know when I got it, Cheryl was at her big event. She was at a big, couple of day retreat. And I sent her a message saying, thank you. But of course, when you're at a retreat, her focus is the people who are right in front of her. So we didn't chat about it at all. But Cheryl, if you're listening in, this is gorgeous. This is so gorgeous. Oh my word. I'm going to have to, this is my first time opening it. It looks like I got the bottom of the skirt, the dress itself, which there's a lot of it. These dresses, when they have a big skirt, you get a lot of material, and that's what this is looking like. And it's just gorgeous. So I'm excited. I'm excited about this. I'm just gonna pull out. I can't even help myself. No, they are all the same. It looks like it's the bottom of the dress all the way around, but that detail work is gorgeous with all those beads. So somehow I'll be working these into some of my projects. Not today's, but I hadn't even taken it out of this bag. I peeked at it this way. I thought it would be really fun to peek at that together. Let me put it aside so we can get working on this project. I'm going to be working on the insides, finding the pages that I want to put on the inside, and then like planning them and putting them together in a way that makes sense for this book. The book is kind of small. Hey, Annette. Welcome. I see you. She says, I'm watching. Hey, Marsha, I see you too. Thank you guys for being here. What are you guys up to today? This book, you guys, it's going to be a little small. I was just going to say before I forget. So we're at about 4 inches by, because I couldn't remember offhand, 4 by 7. That's a nice size. And it was a food storage box. So it was just based on a food storage box. I do like books of different sizes. I mean, if you have a particular size that you like, let me know in the comments. I like long, skinny ones. I would love to do one this size eventually. This one's really big. This is a book I got at my local thrift store. And I think it's kind of like an encyclopedia. It has a variety of subjects. And I'm guessing it was part of a series. But some of the pages have some really great graphics that I think are fabulous for putting in your junk journals. So I flipped through it, like looking for something that makes sense for this particular journal, although this journal doesn't have a theme yet. I don't really have a theme for it. Oh, I like this. Puritan ministers preaching out long sermons. If churchgoers dozed off, they were awakened by the tickle of a feather or the sharp rap of a light metal ball. Well, that's funny. That is very funny. This is Williamsburg, Virginia. Yeah, maybe that would be a good page to put in the book. I think instead of tearing it out, I've gotten to the place where I kind of like, sometimes when you tear things out of books, depending on how it's bound together, it doesn't tear out real well. So I think I'm going to try to cut it out. Really super sharp knife, and I'm just going to run it along the edge of that page. This is about the American colonies. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, we'll use this page. We may pull some other stuff from here. I'm not sure, but I like having the little picture. I did gather up. You can kind of see my thought process here. I did gather up a bunch of stuff. The book can get set aside, really. The book cover, I want to have it kind of close by so we can make some judgments. Let's start with the paper. I was thinking a paper bag. Marsha's at work and she's listening in. Well, thanks for being here, Marsha. Thanks for being here. Is anybody out there crafting today? Is anybody going to be able to gift yourself a little craft time today? It's so nice when you can just spend, even if it's just 20 minutes, doing something creative and crafty. Oh, a little pearl fell off of that dress. We don't want to waste that. I'll just put it aside. Okay. Thinking a paper bag would be great in here. And I grabbed a wine bag because, you know, I have so many of those. And then I realized I have some lunch bags that are already prepped. They already have some sewing on them. I had done those before. And actually this might be, it's a little long, but if we either fold it differently or cut it, we could get this to fit in here differently. So let's see. This part would have to be 4 inches, right, to fit in the book. And here's my binding. So that would work if I fold that as the fold line where I'm going to sew it. And then I could either cut it or I could fold it again. Fold it into itself. Will this work? So that this goes in the book this way. And then we could have, yeah, let's do that. Let's do it that way. When I'm preparing pages, it does really help a lot. When you have things like this, it's been folded multiple ways. Like that was the original fold line for this paper bag. I'm now reestablishing a new fold line so that it fits into the book, too, actually. So it is really good when you have something really heavy that you can put that under to get it to flatten out. And really, if you leave it for 24 hours, you'll be amazed at how flat that paper becomes from being under something heavy. Okay, this is a coffee stained page from a telephone book. Fold this in half. I need to fold it like at the 4 inch, right? It can fit in here. We could cut it down. I think it might be helpful for me to have instead of continuously grabbing this, I know that it needs to be 4 inches or just under. Yeah, 4 inches. It's 4.25 inches, the cover. So everything that's folded, the size is 4 inches is going to work. So maybe what I need to do, maybe it would be just easier is if I grab like a cutting board or something so that I have my 4 inches marked out. That would make this job faster and easier. Okay, so I just would need to know, what are my 4 inches? Okay, let's grab maybe some washi tape. And I just need a 4 inch baseline. I'll put this way, and it doesn't need to be perfect. It can be perfect, doesn't need to be perfect. It's just, for me, it's going to give me a nice eyeball of how big. So 1, 2, 3, 4. When it's folded, it needs to fit within these 2 lines of washi tape. That'll give me a quick visual instead of keep grabbing the book. So, for example, this page that's folded funky and entirely too long. Actually, if I fold it this way, what do we get? Just shy of 4 inches. It's like 3.5. That works for me. Otherwise, you could fold it this way, and then I would need to cut probably both both directions. I would need to make a cut on this. So I think I'd rather go this way. It is very wrinkled up from being coffee stained. I'm going to keep the top because it says telephone index guide. I'm going to keep that. We're going to tear off something on the bottom. So now again, I need to know what length am I working within. Remember, it was 7 inches, wasn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, so there's my line here. You can see I've used washi tape on this grid a number of times to give myself a guideline. It's just a visual guideline. It makes it so much easier. So from the top of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, to the bottom of this, that's the height that I need. So now I can take my folded piece and line it up, and easily, I'll just take a tear ruler. I want my metal one for some reason. I'm feeling like I want to work with the metal one. So we're going to go to that tape line. That's where I know it needs to be there. And tear that off. Maybe we could use this for something else. Oh, my phone just made a noise. I had to pop up and see on the camera side, like, why are you making noise? What is that all about? Okay, again, if I want to flatten that out, and I do, I want this to be like straighter. I'm going to stick it under this book for now with my paper bag. Okay, what's next? This is leftover scrap. We'll save it for later. I don't think I'm going to use the wine bag. I changed my mind on that, so that can get put aside. Okay, I grabbed a bunch of papers. I have a bin that's just called junk journal pages, and it's just stuff that I printed out. I probably got it as a freebie, or it came as part of a digital kit and it never got used. So I have a lot of this here, and I don't quite have a theme for this. I guess I started out fall, so we can embellish everything fall. But for now, my main goal is to get pages that will work with a fall theme that I can sew into the book. That's the main goal. So these are double-sided, which is glorious, right? They're from a kit. That one, I don't want the woman's face in this. I don't know why, but I just don't. There's like a little owl. That could be fallish. Fall-ish. Okay, I could keep these. I like both of these, so let's get them to size. The other one I'm going to put back. I don't like it, the one with the woman's face. But let's get these to size. So let's go back this way. Remember, I can only fit 4 by 7. Hey, Amy. How are you, Kim? Oh, Denise is here. Hey, ladies. All right, I'm going to fold these in half. I'm thinking here. Really, if I... They are, these are 8.5 by 11, and they have the way that Louise designed them, the fold is to be right in the middle. So I could fold it in half and then tear away enough on the edges to make it 4 by 7. Or if I wanted to salvage a little piece here, I could fold it within my tape lines. If I folded it at 4 inches here, not at her established fold lines, then I have all this extra material here that I can do something with, because it's going to get torn off of here, or I suppose you could fold it in and make another flap. But I think I'm going to tear it off. So this is thick cardstock, so I'm going to have to do one at a time. I don't think I'll be able to tear through all of it. So let's tear. I'm going to go just a tish more so I can get rid of this white edge. I'm going to tear it down to 4 by 7. I can't see my line all the way down, so I better reposition myself. I know that's where I want to tear it, but I want to see these lines on the edges so that I can line up my ruler and I get a straightish tear. So it's not wonky. Just taking a minute to take my time and get that set up. Now this piece could be made into a tag or something. Do you see what I'm saying? If I had folded it at its original halfway point that Louise had established on the 8.5 by 11, I'd be tearing just a little bit off every edge, and that, oops, I'm taking my tape with it. And that isn't, you know, it's not ideal, because we could use this bigger piece that's left behind for something. All in the name of frugality, of course. I was tearing up my tape. That was accidental. I came up with my paper. I'm going to see if I can straighten it back out partially. Okay, now I need it to fit between here and here, but I don't want that white edge. I don't want that white edge. For a while, I forgot that my printer has borderless printing. And then I remembered and I was like, why am I not doing borderless printing? So I can avoid that little white edge that's on the end. I would prefer to just avoid that so I don't have to go through this process of tearing that white edge off. Now I remember. Okay, it's got to be between here. Easy flip of the board. It's got to be between here and here. I don't know or think that I will use this for anything. Let's see what's on the other side. I don't think so. I'm going to put it with the scraps anyway, just in case. So I've got this little pile of stuff that, if you know me, you know, I'll use that in the book somehow for something, if possible. Okay, so there's a next. I'm going to stick it under the heavy book. And we're just going to keep prepping pages. So that's the name of the game today, is prepping pages. Hey, how are you all? Everybody who's here, please make sure that you let me know that you're here if you're watching. It's so funny. I ran into a woman at church on Sunday who I have not seen in a long while, and I'm very, very fond of her. And I said to her, I said, oh my gosh, it's been too long. And she said, well, I see you all the time. And I said, what do you mean? She said, oh, I see you on your Facebook page. I'm a total creeper. I see you all the time. And I was like, no. I said, you have an unfair advantage. You get to see me and I don't get to see you. I said, you should really check in and say hello so I know that you're there. Because I've been feeling like I haven't seen her in a long time, which I have not. But she's like, nah, I see you all the time. I just think that's so funny. So if you're here, I call you guys creepers. Those of you who come hang out, but you don't say anything, I call it creepers. Not in a mean way. It's not, I'm not trying to be mean or like, you know, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but I'm trying to entice you in the comments to say hello and let me know that you're here. See, that's a good piece right there, especially with that guy. Maybe we'll use that for something. I like the torn edges because, you know, I like my books kind of chunky and I like them not perfect. I don't want everything to be lined up perfectly, you know, in a normal instance. Okay, again, these are printouts that I found at some point. If I fold this at its intended fold line, you can see it where the designer intends you to fold it right there. It's just on regular printer paper and it's not heavyweight. Let's see what size this is. Oh, it is just about 7, but it's a little bit long. So let's tear off. First of all, Gracie, an easy, you know, back and forth with your board. Once you have your tape marks, then you know exactly where you need to be tearing. It makes it really easy. I got paper all over my sweater. All right, this is going to be my 7 inches. Or just about. I mean, it's not exactly. It's a little shorter than 7 inches. And then for the 4, we're going to lose a little bit here, but that's okay. It's about using what you got. Where's my 4 inch? My 4 inch is this line right here. Yeah, we didn't lose much. It's not bad. And it's a little bit wonky, you know, it's not centered anymore. But that's okay. So this page, this half, we have to do something with, and I very well may end up doing all of that today too, rather than sewing it in. Before I sew things in, I want to make sure that my pages are really where I want them to be. We'll stick with the original fold line. Excuse me. My cough, although it's better, it has not gone away completely. That's just my reality right now. I'm going to lose a little bit of the tail feather on this bird. Little bird's getting a little cut off on his bumbles here. Uh-oh, he lost his little tail. And he lost a little bit of that flower. Oh my gosh, I thought that my garbage, it's always like underneath the table and to the left of me, and that's where I thought it was. So everything that I've been throwing what I thought was in the garbage has just landed on the floor. That's funny. Come on, Gracie Grew. Get her together. Get it together. It's behind me somewhat. I need to empty it. It's just full of scraps. Full of scraps of paper. All right, there's another one, but it's white on the inside, and you know me, I'm not a fan. So we'll do something about that. In fact, I could have just, this is on resume paper, a little bit thicker than regular printer paper, but not much. I'm actually thinking I could use some of these vintage ephemera tabs and labels. I don't know where I got it, girls. I've had this for a long time. Printed it out. I'm guessing it was a freebie that I found, and I printed out right away. A free offer, but it has some tabs, foldable. She's calling them inchies, like foldable tabs, some circles, and this butterfly. I'm going to put this with like the extras because that will, I'm not going to use that as a page. Same thing here. This could become a journal card at that size. So I will eventually make that a journal card. It's just going to get put off to the side for a minute. Now here, these are again, blank on one side, but it's resume paper. Rather lightweight. So what I'm going to do here is I think I'm going to, this one is like 2 cards, one on top of the other. They're stacked. I think I'm going to end up folding this in half and making this a page. So I could glue these together back to back so that when I fold this, this side isn't blank. See what I'm saying? So I'm just going to apply glue all over this, and then we're going to use this as, you know, we're going to make it double-sided. We're going to glue 2 pages together. I could even sew, do a little sewing here. So you guys aren't very talkative in the comments. I imagine you're all busy. Maybe you're watching while you're doing something else. Is that what's happening? I do that all the time. I've told you about a gazillion times. My family, I live with 3 men. Well, 2 men and a boy. In fact, my Gannon is homesick today. That's my boy, my 16-year-old. Landon is 18, and every day, I mean, it's as a parent of a teenager, it's like, when do you consider them a man? Because he's still living in our house, and we are still obviously supporting his every move. But he is growing into a man before my very eyes. It's been, I was telling my husband this morning how fun it's been to watch that kid grow and develop and just become who he's becoming. I'm so proud of him already. And he's, he hasn't even made it to college yet, but I am so proud of that child. But anyway, I live with 3 men, and they like to watch things that this mama, I'm just not interested. Gannon will say to me, Mom, you want to come sit and watch this with me? And I'm like, no. And I'll say to him, I'll come sit with you, but do you mind if I just like peruse Facebook or YouTube and watch my own thing? So we'll sit together on the couch, and he's watching one thing that I have absolutely no interest in. I'm watching something else he has absolutely no interest in, but we're together, and that works for us. Okay, look, so I'm going to fold this in half. We're going to tear. So I think I'm going to do the tearing first. So this gives me more thickness on these pages. And then if I sew along it, it's going to give it more, you know, I've got obviously glued it down, but the sewing is really going to help it stay together. So let's do the tearing first. And then I'm going to grab my little sewing machine. It's off to the side right now. I haven't used it in a couple of days. We're gonna bust it out. All right, I just know that I need to rip it here. Like at this line, I want to get rid of the, I think I'm going to go this way first. I want to get rid of the white border or the plain border, the border where there's like nothing there. And now I need to make sure it stays within that 7-inch, right? But let's do the 4-inch side now while I have it folded. The 4-inch line is right here. Oh, so I'm going to lose a little bit. That's okay. Let's do 1/2 at a time. I'm all about using up what you got. Okay, now from here to here is 7 inches. I'm going to be just slightly short. It's okay. It's all good. So now it's got something on all the edges. Okay, that I want to do some sewing on. For the sake of time, I'm just going to put it aside with these other pages that I need to put something on the back of them. I suppose, I mean, I could do the same thing here. We could glue these together. Why don't we just do that? And then we'll have double-sided, and then that'll give the glue a little bit of time to dry, and then I'll take it to the sewing machine and sew. Good morning. Janet's going to the dentist. I hope it's just for like a regular old checkup or something. We go for cleanings a couple times a year. Sometimes they find something though that they got to fix, right? So I hope it's just like a regular cleaning checkup, nothing major. Listen, it's one thing to deal with dental pain. Like I got to get this fixed. I have a toothache, or, I have to have a crown put in, or whatever the dental work is that you need to have done. You know what's more painful to me? You guys are going to laugh. The freaking bill. When I get the bill, because we don't have dental insurance. So we get the bill and I'm like, eek! Oh my gosh, that was expensive. I told them when they were in middle school, I'm like, kids, we live in a rural place. There are not a lot of professional like that, dentists. We have 2 dentists. No, wait a minute. Yeah, we have 2 dentists in town that I know of. I'm like, if you wanted to go to be an orthodontist or dentist, you guys would do so well, but neither one of them has any interest. I tried to convince them. I'm like, you could own your own business, set your own days and hours and vacation. My boys, this is just, one was just a little taller than the other. So you see that little bit of white right there? How is this going to fit in the book? I'm going to tear it off because I'd like my pages to be a little shorter rather than taller. In the book, I like them to fit within the cover. So I'm going to just tear off that little, it's not even 1/4 of an inch. Mine as well. I can hardly, it's just so small I can hardly tear it off. We're just going to leave it, the rest of it. All right. That page is done. I'm going to put this under the book. It's all done. Oh, I was going to sew around it, right? These 2, we're going to do some sewing. Let's put them aside. Okay, same thing. I have a lot of, okay, this I think would make a really interesting page. I was thinking actually this way. Let me get my book back. If I went this way, I could have a butterfly page. It has to be within the 4 inches. If I tried to fold it so that we didn't lose any butterfly wings. If I folded it like that, yeah, this could make a cute little butterfly page. So let's do it. I don't want, so this is saying where it's coming from, and I don't want that on my page. There's my 4 inches. I might have to make it a little shorter, girls. And these ones on the bottom I'd cut off. Maybe I could use those for something else. So if I went, all right, first of all, let's get rid of the white border on top, because I want as much of the butterfly as possible. Come on, why don't you rip? Why are you resisting me? Okay, and then it's got to go to here. So this butterfly can be salvaged. We can use that for something else later. It'll go in this pile for later. And then what do I have left? I still need to tear off a little bit for the 4 inch, but it's just a little bit. What if I went a lot and I just made it a little shorter so I could get rid of that Digital Collage Club website? So it's long and narrow. I like it. I still need to do something on the inside. Oh, that tear right there just does not look great. But it's kind of chunky, and it is what it is. Don't overthink it. All right, do I have something that I would want to glue in here? Let's look. The stamp page could be cool. Look at it. That could be cool. Where is, I'm just trying to see if I cut it there, where does it take me on the stamps? Like, what do we lose? What do we keep? If I fold this right in half, and we'd be cutting off some, but I do like that a lot. So it would have to be cut, you know, if I want to glue them together. First of all, I don't want a straight edge, so I better fix that. I'm not going to cut off a lot. I need to keep some of that, I think. So I'm just going to take off a little bit or half of it. So I have a torn edge there. Yep. And then I need to tear here. And then I need to tear here. Then we can glue these together just like we've been doing. And we'll have double-sided stamp on one side, butterflies on the other. Not bad, I like it. Okay. I don't do this on a regular basis, but if you have a lot of like regular printer paper, like printouts that you want to incorporate in your books and they're not on cardstock, gluing them together is a really nice way to give yourself some extra bulk to those pages so that they can withstand holding tags and pockets and tuck spots and things like that, folders. I mean, it is a really good way to thicken them up a little bit. Are we right side up here? Yep. I'm going to try my best to get it straight. And where I don't, we can always tear any excess off, but we'll do some sewing. Whoops, finger has glue on it. We'll do some sewing too. Okay, that's all glued up. Gotta go stick into my project. I like it. Bye, Janet. Oh, I'm glad. She's just a checkup. That's good. That's really good stuff. I'm glad it's not anything more. Oh, these all came from the same set, and these are all leftovers. I think this was like the first Junk Journal Jamboree that I did. These are all leftover pages. So I have a couple that are ornate and a couple that are more plain. So let's pair them up together. And if I glue them together and then tear them, let's tear them together first and then we can glue them. That way we use up less glue. So first of all, let's take off. I'd rather take more of the top off than the bottom because the bottom has the pretty florals, right? So say we're going to keep this, as much of this bottom as we can. Let's tear off some of it. And then get it in our little template here. That means we have to tear it right here. About right there. Whoops, let's keep it straight, Gracie. Keep it on the line. Do you guys do this? Do you guys do this? Do you glue pages together to create your books at all? Well, we're going to lose a lot of this floral, which makes me sad. That's what we lost. But it's still, I actually really, journal pages like this, I'm not a fan of. Okay. I shouldn't say that. I love journal pages to have a lot of open space so that we can decorate on them. When they have a focal image that takes up the whole panel, I feel like I always feel bad covering that up. I always feel hesitant covering it up because it's so pretty. So I tend not to do as much on that page. So I really like pages that have a lot of open space, even if there's a little design element here. I kind of like them to have some open space. So this is great because it gives us a lot of open space that we can do something with. This one, it's so full, but it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna make it work. Remember, this is about using up the pages that I have in my stash here. I am going to end up gluing or sewing on all of these. So I do want good coverage, particularly on my edges. And then in the middle, I want to put a little glue, but I'm not as worried about being full coverage on those edges. I must be like shedding a lot of hair today. This is the second, that's like a piece of my hair. It's not like I just brushed my hair or anything. You know how when you just brush your hair is all loose and it falls down? But yeah, that's the second piece that has made its way into my glue that I had to pull out. I don't know why I'm losing my hair today. A little extra on this edge, but it's okay. It's okay. That doesn't bother me at all. Let's establish this fold line really strongly. Put it in the pile. It still needs to dry, you know, that inside glue. And the reason why, before I take it to my sewing machine, I want that glue that I just put on the inside to be a little drier so that when my needle goes through it, it doesn't gob up the needle and get it all gooey. So we'll just set it aside and we can deal with that later for the sewing part. We still have pages to put together. My tape wants to come off. All right, so first starting by folding it in half. These all came from the same set, and they're just pages that I didn't end up using. And we're going to pull it apart. And again, I'd rather keep the image on the inside kind of centered. It doesn't have to be. So I'll take a little off the bottom, a little off the top to get it the right size, and then I have to do the 4-inch thing to get it the right size this way. So at 4 inches, I think it's this line. Feels like we're losing a lot here. Is that the line? Yep, that's the line. And then to get to my 7, you see this to here, this is my 7. So if I place this in the middle, then I can lose an equal, like almost an inch on both sides. It's an 8-inch piece of paper, 8.5 inch. So that makes sense. It's like 3/4 of an inch on both sides about. But I don't have to lose a lot of the beauty of the butterflies and flowers. I can just lose some of the plainer stuff. And let's go. 7 is right here. I haven't glued these together yet, but it's going to look like that. Oh, I lost almost all of my flowers, but that's okay. It has like a Baroque wallpaper very faintly in the background. Do you see that green? Those green graphics in the background. Okay, so we want to glue it together. What if I started this way? What if I started with it folded together and just hold this down and just apply glue to 1/2 at a time? Would I be more accurate with putting it back together? You would think. I need more glue. Ooh, this page is so gluey now. Turn it around and go on the other side. This is easier than trying to put glue all over one side and then putting them on top of each other. Note to self, put them together and do one folded half at a time. Okay. So this book that I'm working on to keep, you know, with me and hang out with me while I do this, I decided I would only do this book on YouTube. So if you want to see this book, you know, start to finish. Now, this is a piece of rice paper. It's really pretty and it has like a gold foil to it on this side, but nothing on the other side. I did pull out some fabrics that I thought would be really, you know, fun to, I love incorporating fabrics into my pages. So maybe we could incorporate some fabric onto this. This just isn't big enough. I could put it just in the center. It's kind of a wonky shape. It's not even completely square. So no, I don't think that this is the one. And this, okay, here's my cover. A lot of the pages that I've been gathering are kind of floral and vintage. The cover was fall themed. So this fabric is definitely more like, it's like a plaid. So it's more like a fall theme. So what if I double-sided it with this? Is it big enough? It is. What if I double-sided it with this? It would make it nice and thick, right? Let's get this to size and then we'll cut the fabric accordingly. And how wide are we here? How much are we losing? I'm going to fold it so that I lose as little as possible of this because it's so pretty, the foil paper. So if I fold it there, I can see that my 4-inch cut line is there. Maybe I'll have a decent strip that I can use for something else in the book. If I try to conserve as much as I can. So oh, this doesn't rip. It's rice paper. It doesn't rip quite as easily as regular paper. See this? It's not wanting to do it. I'm going to cut it like paper or like fabric. Just not tearing. It's actually tearing into here. I could feel it. All right, so that strip will not go to waste. We'll use it for something. Now, I got to be 7 inches. So that means I'm just going to use my rotary. It's not going to be cut ragged, but maybe if I cut the fabric just slightly bigger, oh, I'm a little bit off. If I cut my fabric just slightly bigger, in fact, I'm going to go a little bit shorter, like a 1/4 inch shorter on this. This is going to rip. I'm going to cut here and it's going to rip my tape. So I'm going to pull that back. If I cut this just a little bit shorter, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1/4 inch shorter, then I'll make my fabric bigger and then I can sew them together. They'll sew together really nicely. This will be funny on the other side, but it's big enough. In fact, could I go this direction? I can, look at it. So I could have this raggedy fabric edge going all the way around. See what I mean? If I do it like that and glue them together. Yes, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I have really ragged edges. This paper is really old, you got, or this on fabric. I've had it for a very, very long time. So I can have these really cool ratty edges sticking out of my book, which I love the idea of. Now I want this side to be kind of ratty too. So I'm going to like say, this is the line where I want it, the size that I want it to be. And then instead of rotary cutting, I'm going to tear so that this side has some rat appeal. So it's a little ratty too. And then we're going to glue these together, just like we've been gluing everything together. There's on this fabric particularly, sometimes there's a right and a wrong side. Like that's not the right side. And that, because you can see the graphic so much better, is the correct side. This doesn't have a correct and incorrect. I mean, it really doesn't. Either side works. So let's do this like we did before. It's going to be a little longer on both sides. I actually want to put the glue onto my paper. So I'm going to flip this way. It's where I want it to be. Oh, Gracie, I forgot my glue book. My phone just made a really loud dinging noise, like I got a message. Jeez, I don't know why it was so stinking loud. And yes, the glue stick will work. You can use a liquid glue too, but the glue stick will work with your fabric, particularly because we're going to put a little sew line around it anyway. I'm being really liberal with it. I love some fabric pages. I love burlap pages, fabric pages. You know, canvas works really well in a book, and it just adds a different element. I'm a little bit crooked, but whatever. It's not a big deal. Let's just see. I may end up taking a little more of that edge off. I'm going to line up the paper edges here and here. I'm going to like look at it and try to line up those paper edges and just see how this is going to hang out of the book. It's going to hang out a little bit. I actually really like it, you guys. I'm going to leave it just like that. So it's kind of hanging out of the book. But I do want to reinforce these edges with some sewing. So this is just going to get put in my sew pile. Ooh, I'm happy about that one. Okay, we only have a couple pages left. I have this, which I thought could be really cool to make a page out of. I'm thinking a page, but maybe it should be a journal card. I mean, first of all, let's see, what size is this? Oh no, my tape came off onto my book. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my 4. And then my 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is here. I want to see how tall this is in terms of the 7. Oh, it's actually shorter. So cutting it at its natural cut line, the top and the bottom of the tag is a little bit shorter than the book itself, which is totally cool. I'm down with that. And then I just take off all the white. I was thinking I could make this a tri-fold page. Instead of just folding it down the middle, let's make it a tag page, and then I'll cut out these little notches. So folding it at its natural, like the in-between the tags, the line that's in between the tags. Why does this appear to be bigger on this side? The middle one must be bigger than the side two, because look. And then I could sew this into the book here, and then I'd have a flap. But I want to keep that tag feel, that detail. So let's cut out these notches. I'm just going to cut on the cut lines so it still appears to be tag shaped. Why not? Let's do it. This could be fun. Oh, I didn't fold that quite at the right line, but it's okay. I don't stress about stuff like that. And then the question is, do we want to put anything in here? This is what I have left. I have this coffee stained paper that it was a printable, and then I coffee stained it. And when I did that, the ink from the printable just kind of smeared. It's not even recognizable anymore what it is. It's thick and it's brittle because I baked it in the oven, so it's brittle paper. I don't think this is going to work for a book page. I'm going to put it on the side as maybe something I can use for embellishment later. So these are the 2 pages that I have left. I have to decide, do I want one of these to be the interior of this? That would work. And if I cover keeping most of that floral and losing that one, then we would have this gorgeous floral on the inside, and it's, I think, from a matching set. So that would work. This one's going to have a tri-fold, so it'll be interesting to see how it folds out in the end. I line those up, then I want to lose all of this. And I can do my cuts in a minute. Let's just get it glued together maybe. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to take a minute and count what we have, because this is the last page I'll put together now before we do our sewing. But is it enough? Do I have enough pages for this entire project? I have no idea. I was not planning on gluing them all together, and then that's what I ended up doing. I had counted them before I went live, and I thought, whoa, I have way more than I need here for this book. But now we've glued them all, so I'm down. I mean, I have half as many pages as I started with because I glued them all together. So instead of each page counting as one, now I have 2 pages counting as one. Oh, you can't tell me anything, Denise. It's the secret. She said she just finished her Swap Sisters craft. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Denise, who are you assigned with? Who's your secret sister swap? Who is your partner? I don't remember offhand. Oh my gosh, I want to know. I cannot wait to see all the photos. I hope, did I put that in the group when I posted? Did I give you guys the hashtag? I think I did, but I was so preoccupied by GAN and not feeling good. I may have forgotten to do that. I hope I didn't forget. Okay. Oh, it's so pretty on this side. I love that. So I got to get those fold lines reestablished. I mean, I could score it, but I don't really feel a need to do that. I'm going to line this up on here. And as long as I keep my ruler straight at that point, it should be the correct fold line. Let's do the same thing here. We're going to line this up. You got Shauna? Awesome. Yeah, it's interesting that it was really random. I used that system that I showed you guys yesterday to pull the names, so it was totally random. You guys were assigned to each other. So some of the new members who just joined this month were assigned to each other, which I love. And then some of you were assigned, you know, new member with a returning member, somebody who's been in the group for a while. So I think that's super fun. These are not matching up. You just have to make a decision. Can you live with that? I can live with it. All right. So this, my intention here is to fold this into the book or sew it. I mean, just one of these will get sewn into here, and then I'll have this 3-way flap. This page will be a 3-way flap. Lovely. I love it. So this needs to get sewn too. So it's in my sewn pile. Oh, I have one more page. That page from that book that we picked out, the American Colonies book. This is double-sided. It has a graphic on both sides, and I want to keep the graphic. So I'm going to fold it at the 4-inch. Right here, Gracie. I want the 4-inch to land with as much of that graphic as possible. Yeah. There we go here. That's my fold line. And then I'm going to tear off the straight edge here. You guys, I love how excited we all get about the swaps. They just make me happy. That is 7 inches as it is. That's 7 inches. So this can be a really fun page for a book. I mean, yeah, I might want to tear just a tish. My technical language. Let's tear off just a tish. So it's just a little shorter. I like them fitting within the book cover lines. There. Okay. Let's do a little check on how many pages we have now. I haven't done anything with this yet. So that could become another page. I'm going to put some stuff aside. We've got a couple of things going on under here. Oh, and I have one more thing I want to make a page, but let's just see with the papers. It's not paper. So let's just see with all the papers that I have. These all have to get some sort of sewing on them. No, they don't need sewing, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4. That needs to sit under that book for a while more. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to keep them separate because I got to sew these. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 12 pages, and that could mean 2 signatures of 6 each. I probably could withstand more pages if I do this. This is my, it's kind of like my little test. So I got to remember the paper bag and everything behind it doesn't need to get sewn. Everything in front of it, I need to put my sewing machine to, or I want to put my sewing machine to, but that is 12 pages. Oh, and how that would fit in there. It actually fits rather nicely. And if we're going to be adding a lot of stuff, that might be enough. I could do, with 12 of them, I could do 3 signatures of 4 each. That way we fill this. It looks like it's 1.5 inch. It's 1.5 inch. We could do 3 signatures of 4 each. I do have this. I thought this would be really fun. It's just a little bag, a clear cellophane bag that's see-through with polka dots. And I thought this could be really cute in here somewhere amongst the pages. So I think I'm going to add that. Just something a little unexpected. And then we could use this pocket if we want to, right? I could even make this one. Okay. So it's a little bag. So it has a self-sealer here. You peel that off and then you can close it and seal it, which I'm going to leave that there. So if I fold it in half, this could have a little flap for self-sealing flap so that we can stick things in there and they'll stay. The sew line will be here. And then this, if I wanted to make it a pocket, I could cut either this edge off so that we can slip things in this way, or this off so that we can slip things in that way. You have 2 options there. And actually, sometimes this is pretty flimsy. So sometimes it would help to take like a piece of cardstock and stick it in there to give it more strength to the flap, the fold, when you're folding it and flapping it and turning the page. It's going to become its own page. So that will be something. So that gives me 13. I feel like I always need to land, if I'm going to do 3 signatures, I want to land so all of the signatures have an equal number of pages. So it's just, it's not too wonky. So that would mean I need 2 more pages. I have this sitting here, and I actually have this. This is the leftover from the book cover, and that could become a page itself. It would be short, but I could still make this a page. And what if we folded it at the 4 inch? I need 2 more pages, so this can be one of them. It's short, but that's okay. I can fold it at the 4 inch and then actually fold this in as well. Give myself a little flap, or just glue it down to give this edge a little more strength, like that. And then I have some white stuff here that needs to be contended with. White page. That's okay, because it's not the only one. So I just need 2 more, and then these will all be ready. I got to do some sewing on those. I'm going to stick these ones all back under the book, see if they are getting flat. So there's one, and then I have to do something extra with that. That's why I'm putting it in that pile. I got to do something there. Maybe I could take a napkin and decoupage it on here just to give it a little more oomph. And then I still have this sitting here, so this could become another page. Let's just do it. We have it sitting here. Why not use it? Fold it in half. Same rules apply here. This is going to be a little short, but that's okay. All right, first of all, Gracie, hold on. I'm trying to salvage as much as I possibly can. I'm going to fold it at a different point. I'm going to fold it right at the edge of the shorter page, the shorter design, I should say, or graphic. Because this is going to get cut off anyway, so I might as well capitalize on that. And then I need it to be 7 inches, so where do I want my cut line? We're going to try this. I can always cut off a little more if I need to. I think this is it right here. I have to get my 4-inch. So this will be it. Then I'll have an even number of pages for each of the signatures. Yeah, this is the line right here. So we are losing a little bit here. But that's okay. We can, what can I do on the inside? And maybe I'll just find a napkin that I can decoupage, or tissue paper even. Let's do that now. That I can decoupage on the inside of these white pages. I have a ton of tissue paper actually sitting right here. Now I have a big mess on my floor. What I did well, it seems too plain. I just don't know what to do. I might practice on something else. Denise, don't overthink it, honey. Don't put too much pressure on yourself and don't overthink it. You're gonna, I can understand that it's good that you're conscientious and you want to do something great. But I also don't want you to stress too much or overthink it. Okay, I have some tissue paper over here on the side that I'm grabbing. I have lots of tissue paper actually. And this one's kind of fun. It has a gold shimmer to it. I have these scraps too. Like, is this scrap big enough? I was thinking maybe this scrap is big enough. It is, that we could cover this. So let me grab my glue base, and it's got those little shiny polka dots in it, and it's just white. But if I do something to scrunch it and make it look textured, that could be really cool on here. So I'm not going to keep this as a flap. I'm just folding it in. It's going to give it a little more weight, and I'm just going to glue that down. But I'm going to glue it down after I get the tissue paper on, since I have enough tissue paper to cover like all of that, giving it, again, more weight. So what I wanted to do is I want it to be crinkly and textured. So I'm going to add my glue, and then we're going to crinkle that. Tissue paper is really thin, so it's easily crinkled. It's kind of like a napkin. So we're going to be able to create some serious texture here and add a little more weight. And then this white part of the page isn't just white. So I'm going to crumple this softly, and then I want to retain the crumple. I have enough of it that I can stretch this out. I want to retain the crumple. I don't want to lose the crumpliness, right? So I'm purposefully going to put it on there really loose and just crumple it into place, trying to cover all of it. But do you see what I'm doing when I press it in? I'm pressing it so that it retains wrinkles. I'm not trying to get rid of the wrinkles. We're trying to keep them. And that glue stick is enough to just get that to stick there and give it a little more thickness on the page. Let's do the same thing over here. And I think I'll just glue that. I think I'm going to glue it on top. I don't know. I could glue this now and then put this over it. Or I could glue this down and put this over it. I think I'm going to go this way. I don't know why. I'm really liking the crinkled tissue paper look. So we're bunching it up purposefully and really pressing those wrinkles in. And then let's do the same thing here. We're going to go right over this paper. I think it's just going to make it really interesting. So see how the tissue paper is longer than this page? And so that's good because it means we can crinkle this up. We have lots of crinkle. And we're missing one little corner here, but it's okay because you can either leave it open and raw, or you could tear off a piece of this and stick it on there. Junk journaling girls, we're trying to use, this is probably tissue paper from a gift that I or one of my kids got. So now we don't have such a plain page. We have something to work with there. This paper, this decorative scrapbook paper, is like regular weight. So it's thin paper. It's kind of like printer paper. So it's not super thick anyway. So just a little bit of tissue paper gives it some more substance. And we're using up what would have otherwise been thrown out is getting used up in our book. Now, I'm good with the tissue paper like kind of hanging out excess. Remember, this page is a lot shorter than all the other pages. So if this is sitting in the book with other pages and it's a little gnarly, I'm kind of good with that. I really like the theme. I like the gnarliness. So that one's done. Now let's do this other one. And I think for this one, Gracie, what's your fold line here? Make a decision. There's my fold line. I think for this one, I have this little tiny piece of golden triangular. I could stick that on there, but I think first, let's put this down first. So I have gold stars. I have just the gold, and it actually does have a shimmer. I have a green piece. This is just tissue paper that, seriously, somebody gave us a gift, and I didn't want to throw out the paper. So this is what happens. I might actually go with the green and then put the gold over that. And I don't need a lot of it. You know, look at how big that tissue paper is. I only need enough to cover this. So seriously, if it was just bigger than that by an inch or so, I think I'll have plenty to work with. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to crunch it up. And then I think I'm going to put that gold diamond one over it somehow. So I'm placing the ruler over so I get more green paper than the resume paper so that I can crinkle it. So I can do the same thing and crinkle it up on there. Debbie, yes, we see you. She says, I figured out a way to make my comments show up. Well, we can see you. You did it. I'm put you up on the screen. Your sweet little face is up there. We can see you. We can see your comment. We can see your name. Hey, Denise. Happy Halloween. Who's celebrating Halloween? We are not Halloweeny. We are not the Halloweeny celebrators. That's just not our family. My kids did it when they were little. They got dressed up, and I had so much fun with their costumes when they were little. But they're not little anymore. So we're not, nothing Halloweeny happened at our house. I don't even think, we have tons of candy to share, but I don't think we're even going to have trick-or-treaters, to be honest with you. I wished Gannon's still in bed. Gannon's sick, and I really should. We've been on for an hour. I'm having so much fun with my pages and hanging out with you guys. But I should go check on him, the poor child. He's sick at home, but when Landon left this morning, I did wish him, I did say to him, Happy Halloween. I don't think he was into it. He wasn't into it. Wasn't interested in listening to my Halloween greetings. Oh, I love this wrinkliness. Love it. We got more color on this page because it's green. The other page was white with those metal polka dots. Well, what if I take this now and glue that even on top of this, just to give it more, just more. I shouldn't have done it over these big wrinkles. Maybe I don't have to do it. I'll just do part of this. I don't want it over the big wrinkles. I like my big wrinkles. I don't want to lose them. Let's do a little piece here. Whoops. And then maybe my fingers are sticky with glue. And maybe just another piece down here. Oh no, I ripped my paper. Aggressive gluing, Gracie. I'm gonna see if I can stretch it. It's enough. I guess we're gonna cover that up with our diamond. And I purposefully really like the paper to look super torn and random. Oh, I hear footsteps. That means Gannon's awake. That's good. I don't want it to look perfect. Obviously, I want it to look trashy, like junky. It's a junk journal. I think I still want one little piece in here, so maybe I'll just take what's left over. I don't want straight edges, though. There. Ugh, my fingers are sticky. Lots and lots of glue everywhere. Okay. Where the heck did that come from? That was strange. Hi, Gannon. How are you feeling?
My throat hurts really bad.
Your throat hurts and you have a headache?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just about done. So when I finish here, I'll come out and check on you.
I'm gonna take some Advil.
Why don't you take the Alka-Seltzer, cold medicine? It's probably back in the laundry room cupboard. Okay, so this is good. There's a lot of glue just kind of hanging out here that needs to dry before I can do anything with it. But I will end up, like, we'll tear off the bulk of it. I don't want that big thing hanging there. So it's, and I don't mind if it's ratty otherwise. And maybe this will be another good page to put some stitching in. Again, just to get it more, just more depth to it and more substance to it, because it's a really thin page. My fingers are so, the paper is sticking because I got glue on my fingers. Okay, let's see. Now we have 15 pages, right? Did I say it was 15? So it'll be 3 signatures of 5 pages each, and it's going to fill that book really nicely. I'm leaving some of my pages under this big heavy book to let them flatten out. I'll put something like a candle or something, like something else will go on here that's kind of heavy to help it flatten out. And the next time we get together, I guess, I thought I'd have time, but we're going to hold off. The next time we get together, we'll take the sewing machine to these and do some sewing details on them. There's quite a few of them that are going to get sewing details. We could even sew some pockets on if we want to make pockets and tuck spots on some of these pages. So that will be saved for next time. That'll give the glue time to dry, and it will also let me go pay attention to my sick child. Same thing with this one. That's going to go in the glue pile, or the sewing pile. We did a lot of work today. Hey, Lisa. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here. I know. It's so cold for the kids. I know. It was 11 degrees, you guys. 11 degrees. 11 degrees when I woke up. I was like, this is... like a week ago, I was like, oh my gosh, we've had such a glorious October. I hope it's nice and mild for the kids to go trick-or-treating so they can just wear their costumes comfortably without snowsuits on. No, it's 11 degrees. It's so cold. Debbie got her mini sewing machine yesterday in the mail. I'm so glad you told us about that. Yay, I hope you love it. Share a picture in the Craft Therapy Club. What color did you get? Which one did you go with? We want to see. So please share in the group and tell us, once you've used it, tell us your thoughts on it. I'll be using the same sewing machine to sew these pages together. All right. If you have not done it yet, please help me out. Please help me out. A couple of things. Subscribe to the channel. About 45% of you who watch on a regular basis are not subscribed yet. It's a big number. So please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button on this particular video. And if you have time, I would be so forever grateful if you would go and watch another video. Let it run in the background or kind of listen in on it. I am really, really close here on YouTube. I need about 400 more watch hours. What that means is 400 hours of you guys, people like you out there watching any of my content for me to be able to monetize and earn some income from YouTube. So, oh my gosh, I'm really excited about that. And I hope you'll help me out with that. Maybe watch a video or two you know, if you're looking for something to watch and be inspired, um, I'd be grateful if you'd watch something on my channel in the next week or so. That would be awesome. All right, girls, have a beautiful, blessed day. I hope you all stay healthy and safe. Happy Halloween. I will see you next time here on the channel.